Simon, or afternoon as it will be when this is played. Maybe if you could just start with your take on the squad that you've named. Obviously some intriguing returning faces, some new faces, a few absences.
Yeah, I think, although this is a short World Cup cycle, I think at the start of any World Cup cycle there's going to be a bit of a regeneration of the squad. As looking at our squad, it probably wouldn't be that big without some of the injuries we've got, but we've got a significant amount of injuries, which are all, it's all out there. They're all out, but some fairly high-profile names missing. But what it does is it gives us a great opportunity to bring more of the younger players in who have been sort of accelerating in the AP15s, and some of the more senior players who, like Ellie Rugman, who have been sort of knocking on the door for a while. So it's a very different squad to what we've named previously. We've had a very consistent squad for quite a long time, but it's a really exciting one to work with. It gives us a great challenge as a management group, as a coaching group, because obviously it's not just about the talent; it's probably about the ages of the group as well. So yeah, there's a fair bit of unknown in there for us. We've seen certainly more than we've worked with in terms of some of the players. So we're looking forward to it, but we've still got a massive amount of quality. And
tell me a bit more about the co-captaincy decision for this one. Obviously, Sarah Hunter is such a legend of English rugby and will continue to be. But again, as you've alluded to, looking to the future, you've got to get balance right in terms of leadership too, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Sarah's made it plain that she won't be at the next World Cup. She doesn't intend to go that far. Marley's made it plain to me she is going to be at the next World Cup. And Marley's been part of our leadership group for the last couple of seasons. We've been developing a leadership contribution, and given the some of the players that we won't have with us, there's a lot of leadership there that we won't have. So it was a natural sort of progression for us to look at the leadership group that still existed and how we can build on that, but who needs to really spearhead that. If Sarah isn't on the field, and Marley did it in the World Cup fantastically well, and I think when you put a squad together and a team together, you look for specific characteristics, and that varies depending on what you gravitate to as a coach. And mine's always been someone who's willing to lead from the front. They don't have to be the tactically best player, and that's not to say Marley or Sunter aren't, because they are the extremely good tacticians. But you pull on your other tacticians like your Zoe Harrisons and your Skazzers and things like that. But I want a captain to lead from the front, and everybody who knows Marley knows she's going to lead from the front.
And just finally from me, obviously no Emily Scarrett, no Abby Ward for obvious reasons both, but to have them involved in the collective, that's an intriguing one. How do you see that panning out, and what's their key role almost as they sort of look on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously both were massively disappointed in terms of not being involved, but wanted to contribute as much as they could, and they both coach within their clubs to a certain degree, and we're wanting to, it's no secret, we need to work on that side of the game. We need to grow that side of the game. So it's a fantastic opportunity for us to help support some of that development. But probably more key for us is that it'll help the development of the players we've got coming in and support the coaches who are in place, because Abby's, along with Deeks, Abby runs the line out anyway. So for her to have her there, not just helping facilitate Deeks with some of the training, but to help share some of the knowledge with the players that we're going to have to look to develop even more as line-out leaders, you're going to get that. And then again, Skaz, no better player, no better tactician, understands the game. So she can support Scotty. We've outlined specifically. We had a sit down, talked about what do we want to look at. And defence was one of the things we really wanted to sort of get our eyes on, and Skaz wanted to jump in and do that. So she's going to do quite a bit of defensive focus, but she'll work on the other bits as well. So yeah, it's great. I mean, it's literally we're fulfilling lots of the things we want to fulfil, or certainly getting them started.
Great stuff. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, Sarah.
Afternoon, Simon.
Afternoon.
Can we just go back a little bit? How unusual was it for you selecting this squad, knowing that you were leaving at the end of the tournament, Scott Beeman's leaving at the end of the tournament, Lewis Deacon is staying on? Were you looking a little bit more to Lewis's input in who was selected, and knowing there's a responsibility you were handing this squad to someone else? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, we stuck to the plan that we we were always going to stick to, which is looking forward to the World Cup and knowing it's a short turnaround to the World Cup. So there's certain things that we need to get out of this tournament. One of them is winning it. You know, we're very much focused on that. But obviously, there's a number of combinations, new players, leadership, growth, etc. that we want to look at. So the plan didn't change at all. We were very much going to be sticking to that. What we have done, we always have joint conversations. I don't think there's any decision that is made within our group that isn't a considered decision and a joint decision. And if we end up with a bit of a, disagreement over things or the difference of opinions, then yeah, okay, that's probably my job to do the final thing. But I have sat down with Deeks, and a few of the conversations have gone very much towards what do you think, Deeks? You know, because ultimately you will be left with where we are at the end of this. But we're very aligned anyway, you know, and we knew what the purpose was going to be behind the Six Nations and what we wanted to get at the end of it in terms of, like I say, we're, you know, a springboard for the World Cup. But yeah, I've certainly been very conscious of checking in with him to make sure he's happy with what's happening.
Two of your selections in this squad are Natasha Hunt and Sarah Beckett, two players who were very public with their disappointment and upset of not going to the World Cup. How have you managed those relationships in this selection?
No, we had we had a IDP meeting. So every year we have 3 or 4 what we call IDP meetings where we go into the clubs and we meet the players with all the staff and everything like that. And so we had discussions within those about where they sat in terms of the squad, given how they were playing with their clubs, and what we thought the requirements of the squad were going to be. So there was no special conversation. You know, the conversations had all been had in terms of why they didn't go to New Zealand in the World Cup. Obviously, you don't expect them to agree with decisions like that because they're massively disappointed. But you know, you lay your rationale down as we did, and then it's for them to show how they're going to respond to that. And both of them have responded fantastically well, you know, playing incredibly well. You know, Mo's the best scrum half in the comp at the moment, and Sarah Beckett's been playing really well. So it was just a case of, as we always do, we'll pick on form, and you know, they're both in form.
And just lastly from me, there's 2 positions in particular where you're quite injury heavy, fly half and prop. Who are you excited to really see put their hand up based on their club performances to try and get a look in?
Well, I mean, you look at you look at Kelsey Clifford going really well. You know, young prop going really well. So the front row is going to be intriguing because we're going to be so changed there, particularly at loose head. You know, because great opportunity for the likes of Tice Harper to come back in and show us what she can do. We always intended having a look at Ollie Aitchison at 10. You know, we want to sort of adapt our game a little bit, our attacking game a little bit. So I'd sat down and had a number of conversations with Ollie, and she was really excited about it. And that was before Zoe got injured. So it's it's that. Again, it's probably we're going to accelerate that development a little bit more, which can be a good thing. Obviously, Holly was also lined up to sort of be the understudy to Skaz at 13. So we've taken her out of the 13 slot, put her in the 10. We've got to find somebody to go in the 13 slot now. But again, you know, we're looking at Nancy there. But we've got some good talent that we can mix and match. We've got some great back 3 players that are very. We still got a lot of real good quality in there and consistency from the World Cup and real high quality players that we're adding into there. You know, we may need to mix and match a little bit and have a look at one of those in the 13 slot. We'll see once we get into camp next week.
Is Amy Kokona back up fly half?
I hope not. when she goes with the RAF, she could be anything, to be honest. Amy could do anything, and Amy would be the first one to tell you that.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Sarah. Are there any other questions for the live section? Emma.
Hi, Simon.
Hi, Emma.
So do you see the Six Nations as an opportunity to bounce back from the disappointment of the World Cup?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, it's a pinnacle competition like the World Cup. It's right up there. You know, it's a great competition. We love the Six Nations, and so we were always going to be really excited about being involved in it as well. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we haven't had many setbacks in terms of defeats. But you always look to bounce back from them. Again, it's because the squad's going to be so different. I think the dynamic will be a little bit different about how people feel about you know, whether it's they're looking to put rights, wrongs from the World Cup. There's a lot of players in there who weren't involved in the World Cup, so it'll be interesting to see how they go. But we'll just be excited about playing up at Newcastle in front of a massive crowd against Scotland to start with, and you know the competition's set up to have some great crowds, and yeah, it'd be great opportunity for us to get back on the front foot. But it'll be tough. It'll be really tough.
And as was mentioned before, 9 new names included in your squad. Can you tell us some more about some of them?
Yeah. From what I've seen in the AP15s, yeah. I mean, I think couple of. I mean, we're excited about having all the players in, but there's a few of those players who we would have had in, whether we'd have had an injury sort of situation or not. One of the players we've really been impressed with, for instance, May Campbell, has been absolutely outstanding for Sicers for a couple of seasons now, to be honest, and her work rate and her dynamism around the field. Now, hooker is, hooker's a real, obviously it's a very specialist position, and we're blessed in that we've got some great hookers, but we were really excited about bringing her into it because she's been excelling. So, we're excited about seeing her. Obviously, Nancy McGilvray, she's playing really well with Exeter, so we're looking forward to seeing her there. Ellie Rugby has been absolutely outstanding for 4 or 5 seasons. Great try scorer, great finisher. So again, we're looking forward to seeing her there. And then again, some of the players that we've got, like Ollie, having a look at Ollie in that position. And we're gonna mix and match the back row around as well. You look at the talent we've got in the back row, and we want to sort of create a different dynamic about how we play. And so actually, some of the combinations of the players we've already got, and moving them in to various positions, we want to see how that pans out. So there's a real mix between some of the young players we're bringing in and some of the established players who we're going to move around a little bit. It all adds to the excitement as such.
And last question from me. Going back to Natasha Hunt, what was her reaction to being included in the squad?
Yeah, she's absolutely delighted. I had a chat with her. She made it blatantly obvious, that she wanted to throw her hat into the ring for the World Cup in 2025, and why wouldn't you when you're playing like she's playing? And I've said previously, we'll pick on form, and Mo's in the form of her life, and it's great to have her in. She's always great to have around the squad, and she'll just get on with it. One of the things Mo said right from the offset, she just wants to look forward. She's not interested in what's gone behind. She just wants to look forward and play the best she can and play as many times for England, and that suits everybody absolutely fine. And she's a great player, and she'll add value without a shadow of a doubt.